Please like this video. It will really help this story reach as many people as possible. Thank you so much for your support. The house was dark except for the kitchen light, the kind of glow you get from leaving a refrigerator door open. Her car sat in the driveway. She'd texted earlier about drinks with a friend. On the counter, pasta in a covered bowl, napkin folded too neatly, a sticky note in her handwriting. Saved you dinner. Long day, straight to bed. It looked like a brochure photo of home. Too polished. Too targeted. My gut read it like a script written to stand between me and questions. I heated the pasta, scrolled email, and tried to come down from a week that could buy a new wing in our building. My mind finally stopped chewing on the case, and that's when I saw it. Her tablet. Screen on. Not the usual texts. Encrypted app. A thread labeled with a single letter. K. Last incoming line. Can't wait for Friday. Same place. 8 o'clock. Thought about you all day. Her reply. 20 minutes old. Me too. I'll tell Owen I have a late HR meeting. He doesn't ask anymore. I'm not jealous. It's not my style. I'm a managing partner. I live and die on facts. Still, something cold slid into my spine. I took photos. Scrolled. Weeks of Fridays. Locations. Inside jokes. A restaurant view shot from the top of a hotel. I put the bowl in the sink. The note went into the trash. Upstairs, she was asleep. Hair perfect, even on a pillow. Phone face down, screen dark. I lay down beside her and stared at the ceiling. 2 timelines. Mine, the mortgage, kids' schools, tuition forms. Hers, late meetings, red dress Fridays, the letter K. If I'd known where it was headed, I would have slept, saved my energy. Instead, I memorized the rhythm of her breathing and the exact time the furnace kicked on, like those details would matter later. In the morning, she brewed coffee like nothing. You're late. Again, she said, not looking up. The kids' carpool leaves at 7:40. You left me dinner, I answered. Thoughtful. Don't get used to it, she tossed back, half-smile angled like she was doing me a favor. While she showered, I picked up her phone. No genius codes. The lock screen was our daughter's birthday. Same encrypted app, same thread. Friday, 8 o'clock. Top floor steakhouse. Reservation under Blake. Kay had a name now, Cameron Blake. Owner of a premium fitness club downtown. She started training there 6 months ago. Talked about a coach, someone who made her feel strong again. I'd said good for you. Eat well, lift, do your thing. That was before I looked at the receipts stacked in our finance app like confetti after a parade. I drove the kids to school, shook hands with a math teacher in the drop-off lane like any other dad, then pulled over 2 blocks away and called my brother. Nate, I said, I need you in your day job. You sound like you're about to ruin someone's week, he replied. That's Nate, cybersecurity forensics specialist, 3 years younger, lives on energy drinks and malicious code. What's the brief? Quiet data capture. Messages, locations, bookings, payments. I don't want a confrontation. I want a timeline. You'll need 5 minutes on her laptop, he said, and access to her cloud. Do not tip the user. You got that? Copy. And Owen, don't do anything dumb before you have it all. I'll stick to dumb after, I said. He laughed once. Drop by at noon. I'll set you up. I put the car into gear and headed toward the office feeling like I'd just set a motion sensor in my own home. By noon, I was in Nate's lab. Bare walls, loud fans, shelves of gear labeled with masking tape. He tossed me a USB drive like it was a candy bar. Run the script, he told me. Sync her cloud. You'll get a mirror. Don't snoop on device. Don't leave traces. Subtlety, I said. Yes, I've heard of it. You know what happens when a lawyer does IT, he replied. Bad metaphors and a new laptop. I smirked and stuck the drive in my pocket. You're a poet. Bring me what you get, he said. I'll stitch the timeline. On the way out, I pulled up the fitness club's site and found a glossy photo of the owner. Cameron. Chiseled jaw, handshake with a local influencer, quotes about building a disciplined lifestyle. I closed the tab. I wasn't shopping for a villain. I was mapping a pattern. Back at the house that afternoon, while she was at work and the kids were in class, I opened her laptop on the dining table. 5 minutes. I ran the script. Cloud credential, sync toggled on. Her calendar pinged as if on cue. Friday, HR planning, 6 to 9 p.m. She'd blocked the time with a cheerful color, like you'd mark a manicure. When it finished, I closed the lid and left. No victory dance. No dramatic pause. Just facts going where facts go. I didn't go home early. I stayed at the office and let the noise of other people's problems settle me down. By dinner, she texted, running late, hiring meeting. Order pizza for the kids? No fuss. No questions. I sent back, got it. That night, when she came in, she was in business clothes with a gym bag slung over one shoulder. She kissed my cheek. Did they finish homework? Lila has a quiz. Quick, competent, like we were co-managing a warehouse. They're set, I told her. Good meeting. She opened the fridge. Long, exhausting. Everyone wants the title, nobody wants to do the work. Sounds familiar, I said, and let it sit. Let me pause the story for just a second. If you're still listening, please hit the like button on this video. It really helps YouTube show this story to more people. Thank you so much for the support. Now let's get back to the story. She closed the fridge. What's that supposed to mean? Nothing, I shrugged. You said it. She watched me for a second, then changed the subject to the school fundraiser and which table we're supposed to sit at. That's the dance. Deflect, redirect, keep operations running. After she showered, I sat in the office and wrote a message to Cameron's wife. Her name was listed on a few arts nonprofit boards. I found her gallery site, River North address, portfolio of sculptures no one understands, but everyone praises at cocktail parties. I kept my note short. I need to discuss a discrete matter involving your husband and my wife. We may have aligned interests. Prefer to meet in person. She replied in 10 minutes. Come by Saturday morning when we open. Ask for Evelyn. No emojis. No wasted words. That told me enough. Friday morning, I got a coffee to go and told Madison, I'll handle drop-off. I've got a client at 9. Thanks, she answered briskly. I've got an HR offsite next week. Might be late a couple nights. Put it on your calendar, I said. It's on my calendar, she said, like I was slow. Good, I nodded. Her eyes searched my face for a fight. I didn't offer one. She hates when there's nothing to push against. The day moved the way days do when you're waiting for a clock to hit a specific hour. At 5:30, she came downstairs in jeans and a blazer, hair done like for a panel talk. Don't wait up, she said casual. It might run late. We're restructuring a team. How brave, I replied. Be efficient. She paused, read me, then smiled like it bounced off plexiglass. Don't be a cynic, Owen. I'm not, I said. I do budgets for sport. She looked relieved, kissed me quick, grabbed her bag, and left the same way one leaves to catch a train you've been catching all month. When the kids were fed and in bed, I watched her location ping climb a building that wasn't her office. Top floors. Same hotel as the photo. A tiny blue dot stopped at the steakhouse level. I adjusted my tie and grabbed a folder. I didn't go that night. Not yet. Facts first. Friday was recon, not theater. Saturday morning at the gallery, the air smelled like paint and new lumber. Evelyn had her hair pulled back, black blazer, no jewelry except a thin ring. She looked like someone who's half curator, half accountant. Efficient, clear eyes. You're Owen, she said, stepping forward. No theatrics. I'm Evelyn. Let's keep this clean. I appreciate direct, I answered. We sat in her office, door cracked. She didn't waste a minute. I hired someone 2 months ago, she began. It started with charges that didn't match his routines. He said it was brand meetings at a restaurant I know he hates. He started using a gym more than he uses our living room. I slid the photos from the tablet, dates highlighted. This is Madison, I told her. Director of HR, likes the red dress he complimented last month. My voice was flat like I was reading a phone number. Evelyn's mouth tightened. Same window table, she observed, tapping the corner of a picture. Same night of the week. I'm not here to scream, I said. I want clarity. I want control of the narrative. I won't have 2 people gaslighting us in private and smiling in public. She studied me for a beat. I started thinking I was losing my mind, she admitted, and the words weren't sentimental, they were an audit entry. Then I realized I was losing respect, for him and for myself, if I kept playing along. So I hired help. I don't need a scandal, Owen. I need control. We line up the facts, I said. We make them confront reality in a room with witnesses. No room for spin. Then we move. Where? She asked. The restaurant, I answered. Friday. We sit next to them. If they try to drag it outside, we say no. We keep it in the open. She nodded slowly, like a judge weighing emotion. I have another layer, she added. Money. His club has revenue fluctuations that don't match membership. I found transfers. I think he's creating a cushion. Call it a vacation fund without a destination. Then we'll add that to the folder, I said. I'll have someone run a quick look. If there's smoke, we document it. You can choose what to do with it. Her eyes went colder. I'm not soft, Owen. I simply prefer documentation. We're aligned. We set the plan. Friday, 8:15, arrive 5 minutes after their reservation. Sit adjacent. No raised voices. No, let's talk later. Facts, then immediate terms. When I got home, Madison was folding laundry in the family room, TV on mute. She looked up with a face that belonged on a billboard about functional marriages. How was your Saturday? She asked. Productive, I answered. We need to shift some logistics. I'll handle drop-offs next week. I'll also take Friday night with the kids. She blinked. I thought I had a HR offsite, yes. Go. Don't worry about us. That's nice, she said, like the word tasted odd. Then she stood, crossed the room, and reached for my hand. I know I've been stretched thin, she added softly. You've been carrying a lot. Thank you. There it was, the soft turn. The first, maybe I misread her. She made my favorite dinner that night without announcing it, poured a beer, rubbed my shoulders for exactly 1 minute like a massage you get at an airport kiosk. I let the kindness exist. I didn't buy stock in it. I cleaned the kitchen, loaded the dishwasher, and booked myself a second office downtown for the coming month. Then I moved my personal credit card off our joint auto pay and set up separate lanes for every major expense attached to me. Not a threat, a boundary. Monday morning, she tried a different angle. We should book a weekend away, she mentioned while packing the kids' lunches. Just us. Reset. Pick a weekend in February, I said without looking up. Not this one. You always have an excuse, she shot back, eyes cutting sideways. Not an excuse, I corrected. A plan. She watched me, weighing if she'd push. Then she didn't. Classic HR. Test the fence for soft spots. I reinforced it instead. At lunch, I brought Nate the cloud dump. He sat at his bank of monitors, fingers flying, and built a timeline that looked like a subway map. Messages, locations, receipts, calendar entries, patterns. He flagged a note from her to Kay 4 weeks ago. He's predictable. I need to feel alive on my own terms. Nate glanced up. You okay? I'm awake, I told him. That's more useful. You want the whole truth or the digest, he asked. Give me the parts one can act on. He printed the cleanest 6 pages of timeline I've seen outside a courtroom and slid them to me. No speculation, he said. Just what happened. I called a guy we use for due diligence on finance cases and gave him Evelyn's bullets. Strictly public records, I said. No hero moves. Understood, he answered. I'll send what's visible. By Wednesday, the house shifted. She stepped into full competence mode. Lists, calendars, kids' forms filled out in advance. She laughed at my stale joke about the dishwasher. She kissed me longer in the morning. The illusion went high gloss. That's the tricky part. She is good at running things. She can make a machine hum. But love isn't a machine. Respect isn't either. Wednesday night, she sat next to me on the couch and leaned her head on my shoulder with a deep sigh. I'm sorry if I've been short, she murmured. I've been trying to prove myself at work, and I've maybe forgotten us. You've remembered us now, I replied, letting the words land without judgment. I want to fix it, she said. Then stop managing me, I told her. Start respecting me. She stiffened a fraction, then softened again. I hear you. Do you? I thought. Or do you hear a problem to neutralize? I kept my arm where it was and let her feel safe while I finished reconsidering every assumption I'd been living on. Thursday, the finance report came in. Transfers marked as consulting, recurring, out of rhythm with the club's marketing claims. Not illegal on its face, but suspicious enough that an owner's spouse would ask pointed questions. I printed those pages too. The folder was now weighty without being dramatic. I didn't need a pile. I needed a blade. Friday arrived like a final exam. She wore a red dress, the one the trainer had praised during that period when I still thought we were joking about midlife. She floated around the kitchen humming. She kissed the kids. To me, don't wait up. I'll be late. I won't, I replied. At 7:30, I fed the kids, confirmed the oldest had rides for Saturday practice, and texted our neighbor I might be back late. Then I put on a dark gray suit, no tie, the uniform that says not business, not play, control. I left the house, drove to River North, and picked up Evelyn. She came out wearing quiet clothes meant to blend in. On the drive, we didn't talk much. We didn't need to. The loop of the plan had been closed days ago. At the hotel, the elevator doors opened to the restaurant's soft lighting and city views that make people forget their names. The host recognized Evelyn from the art scene and smiled like he was trained to smile at donors. "Table by the window?" he asked. "Next to that one," I said, pointing. Cameron and Madison were already seated. He wore expensive confidence. She tilted toward him, that smile that used to be mine after a good day. When Madison turned and saw me, her face wiped clean, then refilled with a corporate neutral I know from boardrooms. Cameron clocked Evelyn and dropped a fraction of an inch in his chair. He whispered, "What is this?" Evelyn answered dryly, "Friday." We sat. The server poured water, did the specials in a voice that suggested he didn't want to be here when the conversation happened. He didn't have to worry. I'm not a table flipper. Madison tried the first script. "Owen, can we step outside?" "No," I responded, calm. "We're done with privacy. The truth lives in open hours now." "That's not fair," she said, a little too loud, then lowered her voice. "You don't know what this is." "I know schedules," I said. I slid the folder to the edge of our table, not theirs. "Let's not improvise." Friday evenings. Top floor steakhouse. Messages at 7:32 saying on my way. Payments from a joint account. A calendar block labeled HR planning. "If you want to correct facts, do it now." Cameron tried on a grin. "Man, you're making a scene." "Not a scene," I told him. "A record." Evelyn turned to him. "Also, about those transfers," she added, tapping a page. "The ones marked consulting. We'll revisit that separately. In writing." He went blustery for 3 seconds. "You don't understand my business." "I understand subtraction," she replied. "And I understand I'm done funding mysteries." Madison leaned in. "Owen, please. This is complicated." "It's only complicated when we lie to ourselves," I answered. "When we stop, it gets simple." She tried to pivot into empathy mode. "I felt alone," she began. "You're never home." "I've been." "Stop," I cut in. "Don't pitch loneliness to the person who never missed a tuition payment or a parent-teacher conference. Don't sell me a story where your choices become my fault." "See," she snapped to Cameron. "He makes everything about control." I raised an eyebrow. "Speaking of control," I said, opening to one specific page. I read the line from her to Kay out loud. Clear, even. "He's predictable. I need to feel alive on my own terms." Madison's hand went to the stem of her glass. She didn't drink. She stared at me like I'd broken an unspoken rule. Maybe I had. "No one expects the quiet guy to bring the receipts to dinner." "That was private," she whispered. "Not anymore," I replied. "You made it policy." There it was, the kill turn. Not the dinners. Not the logistics. The disrespect behind my back, packaged as empowerment. The words turned our life into a prop. That changed the game. It ended it, actually. Cameron moved to stand. "We're done," said. Evelyn told him without raising her voice. He did. Her superpower is delivering one-word directives with the weight of a verdict. Let me pause the story for just a second. If you're still listening, please hit the like button on this video. It really helps YouTube show this story to more people. Thank you so much for the support. Now let's get back to the story. Madison reached toward my sleeve. "Owen, we can fix this." "No," I said quietly. "I won't live in something broken on purpose." "What do you want?" she pressed, trying to negotiate like a headhunter rescuing a candidate. "I'm not here to barter," I told her. "I'm here to announce terms you don't get to reframe." She swallowed. "Which are?" "Monday," I said. "You'll receive a schedule. You'll move into the guest suite in the short term and then out within 30 days. We'll split the weeks with the kids on a plan that works for them, not for your calendar blocks. Finances separate effective immediately. The house remains stable for the kids until we adjust arrangements. When you communicate with me, it's logistic, not emotional. No late-night speeches. No hallway negotiations. We're teammates for the children. That's all. You can't just." "I can," I replied. "And I am." Evelyn added. and Cameron will be compiling a clear accounting of his club's finances by Wednesday. He will not be moving money without documentation. Cameron bristled. You don't talk to me like I'm an intern. Then don't act like one, she returned. Madison tried one more angle. You're overreacting. I leaned back. I'm under-responding. Trust me, you're getting the calm version. The server floated by, eyes averted. I closed the folder and slid it into my bag. We're done here, I said to Evelyn. She nodded and stood. Madison half raised from her seat, voice tight. So you're just going to walk out? Yes, I answered. With my dignity. You should try it. Evelyn paused, looked at Cameron once more, then faced me. Ready? Ready. We left them at the window with the city shining behind their reflection like a bad advertisement. In the elevator, Evelyn exhaled for the first time. Thank you, she said. It wasn't gratitude for theater. It was for structure. Get your documentation, I told her. Decide what you want to keep. Decide what you'll let go. Don't explain yourself twice. She nodded. When the doors opened, we went separate ways, and I drove home to tuck in my youngest, who'd fallen asleep reading a history chapter he forgot to finish. Saturday morning, she tried a Hail Mary. Pancakes, music in the kitchen, touches on my shoulder. The second illusion came wrapped in sweetness. Let's talk, she said. I made a mistake. I was lost. I believe you were deliberate, I answered. She set the spatula down too carefully. Do you want to burn everything down? Nothing dramatic, I replied. I want quiet order. We're restructuring. It's not a negotiation. She drew in air like she was about to cry. She didn't. She's not the crying type. She's the persuading type. Owen, please. Don't beg, I said. It doesn't fit you. It doesn't work on me. She went stiff, then icy. You'll poison the kids against me. No, I corrected. You did a thorough job on your own. I'll protect them from the adult mess. They won't hear my opinion of you. They'll watch my standards. She stared, calculating how to shift her approach. Then she played the public card. At our neighbor's Sunday barbecue, she'd keep a smile and talk about busy season. I could see it in her eyes. I let her throw the party mask on. I planned my counter on foreign turf. Sunday afternoon, at that barbecue, she started the performance. Owen's a machine, she told a circle of parents, laughing lightly. He barely sleeps. I cut in easy. We're both busy, I said, and then I let silence do the work. Eyes turned. She felt it and changed the topic. Afterward, I left early with our middle child for a hardware store run we didn't need. On the way back, I called our financial planner from the parking lot, the one who handles our 529s and insurance renewals. I'm restructuring my personal accounts, I told him. New lines, immediate. Understood, he said. Anything else? Yes, I added. Freeze non-essential automatic transfers from the joint starting today. Minimum to keep the lights on. We're simplifying. Monday, I emailed her exactly what I'd promised. A schedule, a move-out date, bullet points on the house rules. Short sentences. No adjectives. She replied with 3 paragraphs about feelings and context. I sent back one line. I'll discuss logistics only. She responded with, You're punishing me. I typed, I'm protecting myself. She tried calling. I let it ring. Then she texted, We should do counseling. I answered, We should do stability. At work, my partner Sam stepped into my office. Gray hair, wry grin, built his rep on reading juries and budgets the same way. You look like a man who just closed a file, he remarked, dropping into the chair across from me. I closed a season, I said. You need time, he offered. I need focus, I replied. Put me on the merger review. Numbers are easier than people. He studied my face. You're not wrecked, he observed. You're resolute. Wrecked is a choice, I said. I'm busy. He nodded. I'll have Beth loop you in. That week, the house ran like a workplace on new management. She slept in the guest room. We spoke about schedules, groceries, permission slips. When she tried to edge into old territory, can we talk tonight? I redirected to the calendar. I spent 2 nights at my new downtown office space to set the tone. I cooked what I could when it was my turn. The kids discovered my version of tacos and lived to tell about it. The oldest watched me closely, as teenagers do when they're trying to decide if they still believe in adults. One night, she asked, Are you mad at Mom? I'm disappointed, I told my daughter. But I'm steady. Is this my fault? She whispered. No, I said. Adults make adult choices. You make your bed and your homework, and that's more than enough. She nodded, shoulders loosening a notch. That's the thing about kids. They don't need your details. They need your spine. Cameron tried his own show of strength midweek. He texted from an unknown number. Be a man. Stop dragging others into your marriage. I replied, mind your business. This is me doing exactly that. 2 days later, Evelyn sent me a one-line update. Thank you. The transfers are addressed. That was her polite way of saying, he blinked. Friday came again. No red dress this time. She wore leggings and a sweatshirt and made a point of not wearing makeup. You forced me to be simple look. She hovered. You look tired, she said. I sleep fine, I answered. Do you ever miss us? She asked. I miss the version where we were honest, I told her. But I like the version where I respect myself more. She stared at me like I was a puzzle that refused to solve. How did we get here? We didn't, I said. You arrived. I left. That landed. She realized there was nothing to grab onto. No man to shame, no fog to hide in. Just a door she'd opened and me stepping through. The move out was quiet. She cried one night in the laundry room when she thought no one was around. I didn't approach. You don't hug a tornado. She packed selectively, like she planned to keep one foot in our house permanent. I cleared that up with an email. Keys returned on the 31st. Garage code changed on the 1st. I'll have your mail forwarded. She tried one last grand gesture on the last Sunday of her 30 days. She made her mother's roast and sat everyone down for dinner. Halfway through, she lifted her glass. To family, she said. To grace. I'll let the kids drink their iced tea. I set my glass down. To honesty, I answered. To boundaries. Her eyes flashed. She didn't argue. She knew the audience. The children finished their potatoes, then left the table to fight over a video game, and I stood and started loading the dishwasher. She stared after me, realized there was no handle to pull, and went upstairs to finish packing. On her last night in the guest room, she stopped in the doorway of my office. Is there anything left to say? She asked. Yes, I said, and closed my laptop. Thank you for confirming who you are. It saved me years. Her mouth parted. That's cruel. It's accurate, I replied, and I'm done letting accuracy sound unkind. She looked around the room like she was taking inventory of what used to be hers. You'll be alone, she said, soft, like an incantation. I'll be free, I corrected. That's better. She left without slamming a door. She's too controlled for that. The epilogue is simple. You want a fairy tale? Go buy a book. I rented a place in the West Loop with exposed brick and a view that reminds you the city existed before your problems and will outlive them. I didn't buy a sports car. I bought a practical SUV because I still drive 3 kids and bikes and sports gear. I hit the gym, not to become a new man, just to reduce my stress enough to sleep 7 hours without waking up at 3 with a to-do list. At work, I took the deals I wanted and passed on the ones I didn't, which, funny enough, made me more money. Turns out clients like boundaries. Friends asked if I was okay. I told them I'm better than okay. I'm clean. The kids adjusted faster than I expected because kids adjust to the truth. The oldest told me, in a car ride that smelled like French fries, you're different. I'm honest with myself, I said. She nodded like she didn't fully get it, but liked the sound. I started seeing someone months later, a friend of a colleague who runs logistics for a nonprofit. Smart, steady, funny in the dry way that doesn't need an audience. We don't do grand gestures. We do plans. She knows my schedule before I do and texts me the day before to ask if I've eaten anything green. I don't need fireworks. I need respect. And I have it. As for Madison, I hear things. HR is a small world in this city. She moved into a decent rental near the kids' school. She avoids Friday nights now. Her calendar got less late meeting, more quiet evening. It happens. Cameron's club had a rough quarter, which might have something to do with the owner discovering that cash without receipts is just a hobby. Evelyn didn't burn his life down. She just shut the taps and made him live on what he earns. She looked me in the eye a while back at a charity opening and said, documentation works. We clinked seltzers. Adults. I didn't torch the past. I archived it. I built a new routine that's boring in the best way. Dinners that don't turn into subpoenas, mornings with coffee and silence, weekends that belong to me and my kids, and the errands we'll barely remember. When Madison drops off the kids on my weeks, we talk about schedules and nothing else. She tries a smile now and then. I return a nod. Respect is not a retroactive discount. The last thing I told her in a driveway handoff was this. You wanted a new life without losing the old one. You miscalculated. You lost me. She swallowed and looked away. You were predictable, she said, reaching for that line like it could still puncture. No, I answered, unlocking my car. I'm consistent. That's different. Then I opened the door, and that was the end. Our story has come to an end. If you've made it this far, how about subscribing to our channel? It helps us immensely. I've selected 2 other videos for you that I'm sure you'll enjoy. Feel free to click on them. I'll be waiting for you in the next story. See you soon.